There are three types of sleepiness, and the most interesting thing about them is that they are not well correlated with each other because they are affected differently by factors such as individual differences, motivation, and the environment. Introspective sleep is the psychological component of sleepiness, the psychological one, and a relatively subjective one, and one that has a significant impact on your decisions, like whether or not to drive. So it's how sleepy you feel. In other words, it's a self-assessment of your internal state. There are three most prominent methods of measuring introspective sleepiness. And the first one is the Epworth Sleepiness Scale, which measures your introspective sleepiness in certain situations. So pause the video, get a paper and a writing device, because there is no better way to learn about a scale than to take it. Turn it back on once you're ready. So here's the Epworth Sleepiness Scale. How likely are you to doze off in the following 8 situations I'm going to give you? Give each one a number between 0 and 3 using the scale on this slide. Are you ready? Okay, first one, number 1, sitting and reading. Number 2, watching television. Number 3, sitting inactive in a theater or a meeting. Number 4, as a passenger in a car for 1 hour without a break. Number 5, lying down to rest in the afternoon. 6, sitting and talking to other people. 7, just sitting quietly after lunch without alcohol. Number 8, while in a car, stop for a few minutes in traffic. If you are using this scale for a certain population, and you can add more items as you learn about their common activities and the environment. For instance, a school psychologist might add one about sitting in a classroom. By the way, here's a great example of how variables like individual differences can affect introspective sleepiness. Individual differences are personality traits, and extroversion and sensation seeking are examples of personality traits. Interestingly, extroverts and high sensation seekers tend to have higher scores on the Epworth Sleepiness Scale compared to introverts and low sensation seekers because they need more stimulation to remain alert than their counterparts. The second most prominent way of measuring introspective sleepiness is the Stanford Sleepiness Scale. It measures how alert one feels at the current moment. Complete the Stanford Sleepiness Scale now. Simply choose one of the following to describe your current state. So one of these 6 on this slide. So we've got 1, feeling active, vital, alert, wide awake. 2, functioning at a high level, but not at peak, able to concentrate though. Number 3, awake, but relaxed, responsive, but not fully alert. Number 4, a little foggy, not at peak. Number 5, foggy, prefer to be lying down. Number 6, very woozy, sleep onset soon, no more desire to stay awake. Now again, one could add more items to the scale if desired. For instance, one researcher might add a number 7, indicating having dreamlike thoughts. But these 6 here are the standard Stanford Sleepiness Scale items. The third most prominent way of measuring introspective sleepiness is the use of analog scales. Like the Stanford Sleepiness Scale, they measure how alert one feels at the current moment. However, unlike the Stanford Sleepiness Scale, They require the user to indicate a point on a continuum. Here's an example of analog scales. The user is asked to make a mark on each continuum indicating their current state. Where would you place your marks on these 3 items right now? Analog scales generally have 3 or more items. This is because different people can interpret the same words a little differently. So the most valid and reliable self-report measures are obtained by taking the mean between 3 or more paraphrasings. Have you ever taken any kind of a questionnaire and it seemed like they were asking you the same thing over and over again, just in slightly different words? Now you know why. There is a method to that madness. In our next segment, we're going to look at a couple other types of sleepiness.